Hello and welcome to Racers Now. We are back again for about the fifth time this week to look at day 5 of glorious Goodwood and Newmarket and a bit of Thirsk on August the 3rd, Saturday, August the 3rd. SD's in his car, not side by side tonight. We're on a tight schedule, so we're going straight in.
Schedule, we're not in America.
Or whatever. SD's not got a selection in the first race at Goodwood, but I have, and he might be surprised by the selection. I called this horse the biggest dog in training before his seasonal return at Newbury 14 days ago. He was second there, and he will win this. He will be better for fitness. He'll be better for a mile and a half, and I think he just wins. And that horse is called Aasy. Any comment to make on that?
Well, look, I think it's fairly tight. It didn't really appeal to me as a betting medium. Look, you could throw a horse blanket over the lot of them, and I think you'll get 3 or 4 different results. I haven't got much comment on that, but I have got comments on your current attire, given you look like you're going dressed for paintballing or something.
Yes, thank you very much, ST, for that. Right, moving swiftly on to the 225, or is this the 3 o'clock? Oh no, the 225 and the 3 o'clock are similar races actually. Both over 1 mile 6. This is a handicap. No bet, but both align the stars, and Fairbanks won good handicaps in impressive fashion last time. Top of the market is between them. Fairbanks was backed at Newmarket as if winning was out of the question. Align the Stars won at ADOC, was entered in the Gordon on Thursday, but taken out of that to run in this handicap. Still in the St. Ledger, Align the Stars. Did you have, I know you've not got a bet, but did you have any comments?
I did have some comment in that the way I looked at the race was I thought they were short enough. But I was trying to put something up against them. I considered I was very close to either putting one of Yukon Glen or True Legend up as bets. But the problem with True Legend is I think he's going to be slightly better at 2 miles. And the problem with Yukon Glen is, yes, he's quite old. And you could argue he probably wants slightly softer going. I know he won on Good to Firm at Air, a race that's worked out well. And Mr. Mulrennan's not on him. I know Ross is a good substitute, but I think he takes a bit of knowing. So I left the race reluctantly alone.
Yep. No bet for me either. The 3 o'clock at Goodwood is the 1 mile 6 furlongs for fillies, Group 2. Free Wind just doesn't run often enough, and when she does run, doesn't win often enough in relation to her usual market price. She was odds on for this race last year, but only managed 4th in very, very different conditions. Goodwood somehow on Thursday night avoided the rain, or avoided any rain at all, and it remains Good to Firm on Friday. There could be some bad weather Friday into Saturday, maybe, but I'd have avoided it Thursday night. I don't know. It looked nailed on to rain to me when I left the course. This Free Wind ran okay at York in May, but that's her only start of this year. Where has she been? Like, there's been plenty of times she could have ran. She's unreliable to turn up. She's unreliable when she turns up. Keys Chorister doesn't want quick ground, but showers are forecast, as I mentioned. So I think this is a race to bet on. There's 14 runs. It's actually a maximum field. River of Stars was the one for me. Second in this race last year on very, very different conditions, borderline unraceable, was abandoned within half an hour of this race being run. She was 100 to 30 that day. She's 14 to 1 now. Figure suggests she's in similar form to last year. Any ground appears fine for her. I thought she was a bet each way in a race that you should be betting in, I think.
I agree. You should be betting in it. Can't have Chaos Chorister, Free Wind. Yeah, I'm not 100% Free Wind will run on lightning quick ground. Are you?
No.
Yeah, and eventually I came in on the stablemate Sweet Memories. I thought she ran a perfectly good race in the Lancashire Oaks, which is a Group 2 on her reappearance. There's some showers about that'll favour her. This, of course, is a Group 2, but she's only had 5 starts, and 2 of them were very promising. She won the listed race at Newmarket on this day last year, which we'll look at later, and she was second to Time Look, and technically, she had Roaring Running Lion further back, didn't she? And some pretty good fillies were behind her that day at Newmarket. Okay. I can forgive a run in very bad ground at Ascot and Champions Day, and I thought her reappearance was pretty good. So, but I thought 16s looked, or 18s. Is she 16s or 18s? I don't know.
Put your 16 for 4 places, SD, because just to be consistent with the place terms I'm putting up.
Right, well, 16's 4 places is perfectly fair for a horse who I think can improve. Just on some of the others, Sumo Sam surely wants a bog, doesn't she?
Won last year.
Won this race last year. Presumably had some problems since, given the lack of appearances. And as I say, I'm happy to take KS Chorister on. I think KS Chorister is now a 2-mile horse, and I think 14 furlongs round here she'll get outpaced, especially if it stays dry. But yeah, the message is take the top. You couldn't even rule out the absolute rag Oxford Comma, by the way, who's won her last 2 and could be absolutely anything. I thought take the top 2 on, and you may well get a result in this.
Agree. I like Sweet Memories. I put her up last time at Haydock when I said seasonal reappearance, John and Thursday Gosden filly. Yeah, I thought she ran okay there. I'm going to have to back her now. You've put her up as well, Esther. But yeah, River of Stars is my definite selection. Keeping an eye on Sweet Memories as well. Right, on to the feature race of Saturday, the Stewards Cup. 6 furlongs, all sorts of runners, 28 runners, I think, something like that. Ferris is the one for me. And when I wrote my notes for this last night, he was about 22, 25 to 1. I've just looked, he's now 33 to 1. So definitely a bet for me. Has been badly hampered on his last 2 starts. So you can put a big line through those. That was at Ascot and York. He was in career best form before that. Gelded over the winter, and that's improved him at least £10. Fast ground, fine, but he has won also. His first ever win was on heavy as a juvenile. He will do for me 33 to 1 each way, 6 places. Ferris.
Yeah. I again thought those at the top of the market were short enough, and I won a couple of darts at massive prices. The first one is what have you got for my first one? Which order do you want me to talk to them in?
You can go biggest first. Dear to Hope. I'll change that because that's his top.
Dear to Hope, 50 to 1. Ran a good race last week in the dash at York. Probably on the wrong side of the track there. The action was far side. The winners were drawn 1 and 3. You know, Dare to Hope was out of 13. Finished like a train on a different day. It may have been a different result and would have been a lot shorter price for this. That, to me, allayed some concerns about very fast ground. Previously, had been running well and was second to Manila Scouse in a pace bias race at Hamilton. I thought there was a bit of juice in that market. Isn't your mate on this thing, C.Y. Hall?
Yeah, well, he's had plenty of interviews and that this week, but no, not been near a winner as yet. Your secondary selection, SD, Glenfinnan.
Yeah, Glenfinnan. So big stat for you. This isn't why I'm backing him, but it certainly adds to the case. Michael Dodds at Glorious Goodwood is 4 from 5. He's phenomenally up on the pound stage. He's had the winner of this. He had a winner earlier in the week. The yard's in flying form. Ran 3rd in aforementioned Hamilton race. He was 5th in the Wokingham. And I think off a mark of 94 is a pound lower for both of those. After a slightly substandard effort at Ascot, it needs to be said. But he remains unexposed as a sprinter. Only 4, and I say he's unexposed as a sprinter. He's only had 5 tries at sprint trips. So there might just be a little bit more to come. Is he 33 now? Yeah, 33, yeah. 5 places. He's perfectly fair. I expected him to be 16 or 20. Given the case's outline, and I think he's got a very, very fair shot at this. It's a lot more open than the market suggests. Dart Trooper just keeps going up in the weights.
And not winning.
Al-Bashir's a chance. This Pura Sangue, to me, surely, I'd be thinking this thing needs a bit of rain, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought that as well. SD's two selections are in the 5 places each way market there because they were standout, i.e. 33 and 50. No one else is that price. My selection 33 in the 6 places market. Right, there is a couple of good races actually at Goodwood, not on ITV on Saturday. At 4:10, we've got a 14 runner, 7 furlong handicap. Kirat, who was a non-runner on Thursday, that was a bit of an eye catcher at Newmarket before that in one of their good handicap races at the July Festival, runs in this. But yeah, Indian Run is the one for me. You'll have to scroll all the way to the bottom because he is the biggest price of all. 25 to 1 each way, 4 places. 3-year-olds only. It looks a hot race, this one. But I can't get away from Indian Run, who has been priced up as the outsider of the lot. He's top weight, but has been dropped £3 on for his 2 starts this year. This horse ended last year running in the Dewhurst, for God's sake. I mean, he got nowhere near winning, but he ran in the Group 1 there. He was impressive at York from a poor position last summer at their Ebor meeting, won, but from a poor position. Massive outsider in the Jersey last time at Royal Ascot, but never quite settled in between horses. I'm not saying he would have got anywhere near winning, don't get me wrong, but he showed enough there to suggest to me that he's trained on. Like I say, never really settled in between horses, ran well enough late on. Goodwood, 7 furlong, round a bend, I think should suit this horse down to the ground. Tom Marquand is booked and he is red hot around here, as we've seen this week. Drawn 14, which might be a problem, but I'm going to have to just swallow that with the price. 25 to 1 each way, 4 places for me. I thought that was well overpriced. On to the final bet for me of the weekend is in the 5:20 at Goodwood, the lucky last, and SD and regular viewers will know what I'm on here. I honestly think they've been messing around with Alpha Crucis this season. He's clearly not straightforward, the horse, but ran down a dead end last time at Redcar. You watched that race back. I mean, again, he wasn't winning, but I think the jockey ran down a dead end on the rail when he didn't have to. It wasn't a big
Cup, isn't it? I always love the Zetland Gold Cup. Proper race.
Yeah, I thought it was a funny old ride that time at Redcar. Raced alone for a long time when favourite at Goodwood before that, but ran an okay race. Lost a shoe at Newbury with the £7 female apprentice on in the Spring Mile. Line through that. Virtual non-trier in the Lincoln. First time up this year with the £7 female trier on. Put a line through that. So he's had a range of jockeys on. He's had a range of excuses. I can't leave him unbacked. I think a bit of rain would be fine, although he doesn't absolutely have to have it. And I just can't let him go unbacked, this Alpha Crucis. They've been messing around with him all season, cheap pieces on.
Yeah, the problem is when you start having him so many excuses, it might just be the horse is just a bit of a twicer.
Yes, and that could well be the case. I'm not denying that at all. Right, SD's got 2 bets at Newmarket. I have not. Firstly, is the 205 SD.
Both in the 205. That was always a good nursery. This it's worth
Philly's nursery. Ooh.
Well, yeah, you might say that. I was very happy to take the first 2 in the betting on Art Design, who's been basically bumming around the north and not doing that well. And Griselda, who's up in class and very much up in the weights, probably gets found out. I thought the key race for this was a 6 furlong maiden Class 2 run here, where Magic Mile seemed to steal it a bit from the front and looked really good that day. And I think a mark of 86 probably isn't the limit of her ability whatsoever. Back in 5th that day was Miss Fascinator, who has won since, and if she starts properly, again, 85 looks sound to me. So against the top 2 in the market, who have been running in what I have to say have been shit races, with a bit more, in the book in terms of form and from a handicapping point of view, I can't let those 2 go and bat each way 4 places. Pile in.
Excellent. And rounding off the Saturday, the 3rd of August, at Thirsk SD in their William Hill Summer Cup Handicap. Good race, this.
Good race. Feature meeting of the day at Thirsk. SD will be there. You could see the case for Thunder Run, but 15 to 8 is short enough for a horse who's making his handicap debut off a mark of 96. It's high enough. A Wild's in the race. You'll know several of these horses, but Austrian Theory, who's gone to Tim Easterby and showed quite a bit of form on the all-weather at Newcastle, will appreciate quick ground. Certainly, his last win was on good to firm around Epsom off a mark of 91. He's now down to 85 and ran really well at Newcastle and was sixth last time at York in possibly a stronger race than this and under not optimum conditions. The winner of that York race run is favourite today for the big mile handicap, the Golden Mile at Goodwood. And I thought 9-1 was perfectly fair in a race where I've always thought a while is a bit of a soft ground horse. So you can pick holes in the opposition, and I thought 9-1 each way. Yeah, let's pile in on Austrian Theory for the Easterbys who do like this race.
Okay, good. That wraps up the week. It's been a busy week. It's been a successful week. We've had plenty of winners between us. Hopefully we can have some more. We've got Friday's preview up and now Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. And SD.
One last thing. Next week we are a Sugar Cup free zone. We don't do team sports in horse racing. We'll be looking at the Rose of Lancaster at Haydock. We'll be looking at the Sweet Solera at Newmarket, and there's a good evening card at Ayr.
And we'll leave it there. And I agree with everything SD's just said. Thank you.
Goodbye.